Welcome back to Titanium Hangar. This is Mike. I'm coming at you with the weekly news and review for January 26, 2020. And we got a lot of stuff to talk about. Even though we've kicked off Chinese New Year officially, there's still a lot going on in both the Transformers and Star Wars world and a few other things. So we're going to get right into it. First thing I do want to talk about is Chinese New Year. Now, I am not really steeped into the culture and history of this, but I know that every year there's Chinese New Year. 2020 is Year of the Rat. And I want to say that if you order from US distributors, your stuff is in stock, you're going to get it, the normal time frame. If it's not in stock, it may not come in stock for 2, 3, 4 more weeks simply because of the Chinese New Year. Now, if you order from a Chinese distributor such as like Shouzi, you may be waiting a lot longer. They may have shipped it and it's held up. Now, I've been waiting 5 weeks on something, and I think Chinese New Year has something to do with it. I'm not 100% sure, but it's been 5 weeks on my DX9 Motor Master. I really want to see how that thing looks on my shelf, the combined mode, sort of combined mode. But anyway, it's one of those things, and it happened last year. It happened to me with Zeta's Kronos, and it just is what it is. So in the past, we've seen stuff like Year of the Horse. We got a Year of the Horse Optimus Prime, which, by the way, I have that, and I think it is awesome. I love the gold look to it. I think that is an excellent MP10 version. Some other year, we got Year of the Snake Omega Supreme. I like the fact we got a big Omega Supreme. I didn't like that he wasn't G1-esque. I passed on it, especially for the $200 asking price at the time. But it still looks cool, and I'm glad they do stuff like this. But with it being Year of the Rat, I would think Beast Wars Rat Trap would get made by Takara. It just makes sense. It really does make sense. And I'm not ruling out the fact that maybe they will make it. Maybe it's coming out. But the only Rat Trap we really know that it's been confirmed is Transform Element, making their Legends scale Rat Trap, which, by the way, a lot argue that Legend Scale, Rat Trap, and Black Arachnia are in scale with the Masterpiece line because they're so small in the whole continuity, and they really shouldn't be as big as they are. And yeah, that's an actual good debate. So I want to send out some serious props to one of the viewers, Charles, who submitted on Facebook pictures of a Starscream head adapter for the Make Toys Starscream and the MP44 head. Yes, I've had mine set up like this for a while. I did some magic with duct tape, and it's kind of a bit of a... It's not really professional, I guess you could say, but this adapter will make it look professional. And it's what I would assume an adapter would look like. It looks like this, and it's $12.99. I'm going to put the link down below to the seller on eBay. So if you happen to have the Make Toys Starscream, and you happen to have the head from the MP44, you can do this. And down the road, maybe the head from the MP44 and the KO version will work also. I mean, that might work. I have to admit, Make Toys' original head is garbage. It just didn't work. It was way too dark. And yeah, this is the best solution to date. So there have been new pictures surfacing of the Zeta toys, the new Superion that's going to have a metallic look to it, and there's a lot more different than just metallic. It's not the same. So the reds are more muted, the reds are more of a burgundy, and that's probably part of the metallic look to it. And with that, the thighs are less orange and more brighter yellow. And so if you like the color scheme, it's good. I'm actually fine with what I've got. I would actually like the brighter colors better, but I like the brighter colors with metallic, so it's kind of a catch-22 for me. One may not be better than the other. The reality is, which one do you like the best? And with that, you could choose. But in the end, I don't think there's enough of a difference between the two, the metallic or the non-metallic, the brighter or the more muted, depending on which one you're looking at and how you're looking at it. So it's personal preference. I don't want 50 comments, who cares, because Fanstoys is coming out. because I know that's what's about to happen in the comment section. So there have been some fans putting out their pictures of what they think these combiners leg modes are. Since everything's hush hush, quiet secret, how will these combine? Nobody knows. And this leg mode actually looks pretty spot on compared to the render that we see right here. So that actually, this particular individual did a really good job of making a leg mode. And I was going to try to attempt it, but then again, if you kind of show it in a review and it's not the right leg mode and something breaks, then I'd feel bad about that. But on a personal note, I am super excited about every aspect of Superion for Fans Toys. Can't say the same about the Minotaur though. Staying in line with the combiners, the MMC's version of Bruticus, it looks good and looks good in combine mode. I think it really shines in individual bot mode because the bots look so much better than the Zeta bots, and the combine mode is bigger than the Unique Toys combine mode. So the Unique Toys actually can compete in individual bot mode. So there's kind of like a mixture of the two. And with the add-on kit, it's not going to be as small as initially was forecasted to be or expected to be. So it's not something I'm ruling out. I actually have everything pre-ordered except the first limb and the main bot. And the reason I was really wanting that main bot, hoping that they have a color variation coming. I got my fingers crossed. We've seen more pictures of this Iron Trans Star Saber. This figure looks good, and I keep talking about it each week, and when I see more information about it, I get excited. This is going to be one of those 30-minute videos. If you don't know what a 30-minute video takes, it takes like 6 to 8 hours of work for a YouTuber to make a 30-minute video. And all the reviews of this thing are going to be 30 minutes or 27 minutes or 38 minutes or heck, maybe 45 minutes. Unless they really, really skimp on the transformation and do multitude of jump cuts. But I think this figure is going to be amazing. And I'm not even so into the Japanese continuity. And a lot of people are telling me that they agree. They think this is going to be even better than Takara. I think Takara looked and felt a lot like a toy. And my personal belief is this is going to look and feel like a high-end collectible. Almost like you're holding a Fans Toys. Maybe even a Flames Toys. But I can't say for sure till I have it in my hands and I get to review it. I just hope I don't go Ultra G1 and try to track down a G1 version simply because this is so awesome. I want to experience the G1 version also. And I think that a lot of people do that. So Generation Toys making a really good looking version of Sideswipe. And my take on this is that look at this. It looks a lot like the Sideswipe that Iron Factory made in the Legends scale, and just the way the chest kind of has that double lump on it, and it looks cool, and I'm usually not for stylized. Well, we just talked about Star Saber, which is a bit stylized. This thing's stylized, and I think it looks cool. The only problem is the alt mode is just a bunch of bull. Haha, pun intended. Actually, the bull looks pretty good. But I don't really know exactly why they chose a bull for an alt mode instead of the Lamborghini or just maybe a super futuristic space car. But I'm sure someone in the comments will tell me exactly why they chose a bull. Still doesn't take away from the fact that this figure is awesome. He looks really cool, and it looks like he's going to be kind of highly posable. Hopefully he comes with the stand. What? 11 Fans Toys figures don't have stands? They just have stand adapter? Okay. Well, yeah, this one will come with a stand. You know, this very sweet yet sour figure of Lemon Tree looks pretty cool in bot mode and painted up. This really isn't a prototype. These are renders still. It looks good. I like the way it looks. I like the purple. I still think that the official Takara, design-wise, is a better Shockwave, but it's kind of cool that it transforms and it does what it does. And we've got more pictures of it. And I think that the figure is going to be a fun figure to mess around with. And it might even take someone's place as their Shockwave. And I'd be interested to see how much taller it is than the official, or how does it match up next to the other alternatives, say Fans Toys or Cloud9? But I already know where I'm going to put mine. I'm going to get this guy, and he's going to be up next to my HasLab Unicron. And I don't have my HasLab Unicron in place yet, for one reason, because it won't release for another year. But I did clear this space out. I showed this in my Cribs video, and this is an Armada holding a place, but I could see this would be a perfect complement to the HasLab Unicron. So let's talk down on this low level here of the low legends. And New Age makes these Insecticons, and they make them in the solid, they make them in the clear, and then a solid with a clear windshield. Now, I think that would be perfect, but I don't understand why they didn't originally come out with all swappable. But I don't know what is everybody's favorite preference, and would this be something people would buy in droves? Would you buy 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different sets of these guys? Because Insecticons could be in the numbers of 100, and these are so small, 2.36 inches, according to Shozi. And is this something you'd want to do? And then swap out parts. That would be interesting. I really, personally, my personal aesthetic choice is fully painted with the transparent yellowish or orangish chest pieces. Looks the best to me. But $55 for 3 of these figures, if you do the math on it, it's not that bad. It's not that expensive. They're pretty good figures for the price. So New Age is putting out their Starscream as a ghost Starscream and a clear Starscream. I heard he's going to be ridiculously small quantities. If I get my hands on one, I might actually get it just because it's different. I'm not into Seekers. You know I'm Seekered out. But New Age Seekers look amazing. And the transformation is pretty simple. It's a little bit complex, but it makes it look good in both modes. Makes me start to wonder what Takara's 3.0 Seeker is going to be all about. Yeah, surprisingly little going on in the Legends scale, which it seems like there's 5 new releases announced a week for Legends. But anyway, a lot of people are excited about the side of the Earthrise packaging that came out, and it's showing a lot of stuff. It's showing a lot of things that maybe we're going to get. Maybe we're going to get upgrades to, or maybe not. So starting at the top, there's a Megatron, and a lot of people think we're going to get a new Megatron that maybe turns into a submarine or something like that. The reality of it is, I think they're just going to reissue the Siege one on Earthrise packaging. They've already done that with these Target Masters, the Rung and the Singe and all that. So it's not bucking a trend. They've already done it. And we already know we're going to get a new Siege Quintesson, a Prime, Wheeljack. But Hound is a question. Hound, by the way, should have an Earth mode. And if they do it, then it's really going to tick off a lot of Siege collectors that jumped full force into Hound. And I'm a little disappointed because I just got my KO oversize. And we're going to ditch that already? Moving down, we already know about Trailbreaker, RC. I want to see RC look amazing. I think they could do an excellent job with her. I might buy 2 or 3 or 4 of her, have her in different modes and different displays, because I actually have a few of the original one. And then looking down lower, we already have Shockwave. I think Shockwave is a great figure, and if you got him for the $30 price, then you gotta steal. But up at the top, we have an Arc. And there's a lot of discussion whether the Arc is actually going to get made into something that is substantial. That would be awesome. So, transitioning over to some more topics here. I've been on some road trips lately, and it's kind of shown as some of my lack of attention to the channel has been because I've been on road trips, driving across the state, multiple states, having some fun. But I found this, and I did not expect this at Walmart, and there's an Iron Giant for 20 bucks. I actually think for 20 bucks, for the size of this guy, he's at least 12 inches, if not taller. He looks good, and it makes noise. I didn't mess with him too much. What noises he makes, I don't know. Or what light-up features he has, I don't know. I don't know all this. Maybe he doesn't make noise. Maybe it's just walks. Maybe he has lights. But it looks really cool. And then also, We have this Forbidden Planet, which looks exactly like the Lost in Space droid. I would have rather had the Lost in Space droid, by the way. But anyway, it's kind of cool and it makes a lot of noise and does a lot of stuff. Lights and sounds. For 20 bucks, for the size of these things, for what they do, and when you look at, hey, I just paid 160 bucks for a Masterpiece Transformer, and these things look this cool for 20 bucks, not bad. Moving into Star Wars, a lot of people wonder why do you talk about Transformers 95% of the time on your channel, but then you talk about Star Wars in your news. And it's because Star Wars is what got me into collecting in the first place. I wouldn't be talking about Transformers, I wouldn't be talking about Bionic 6 masks and a lot of other things that are going to be coming if it wasn't for Star Wars dragging me into this realm. So I still hold on to it even though it's not at the top of my wish list and want list or excitement these days. But they're going to rise up with this new Clone Wars. So the new Clone Wars cartoon series is going to be good. I know the old Clone Wars, what they did in the past, was great. The animation was great. I know it was a little bit confusing because they came out with these little 5-minute short clips of Clone Wars, which was very stylized and was not for me. But the whole rest of the Clone Wars series that they made after that was for me, and I'm excited about this. Now, my son had a good idea of binge watching maybe the last season. Before we go into this, on the 21st of February, though, we get the first episode of the next season of the Clone Wars. Now, we're going to get the live-action TV show, Kenobi. Now, it has Ewan McGregor in it, and Ewan McGregor is one of the best things that came out of the prequels. His performance is extraordinary, and the way that you could watch him, and then you can say, well, you know what, that really does have some Alec Guinness in it. You could see them connect. I love that. And watching Ewan McGregor as Kenobi in this TV series is going to be great. There's going to be a delay, and Ewan McGregor spoke out about the delay in production, and he did say he read most of the scripts, and he really thinks this is good. And, you know, a lot of people want to talk up everything that they do and all their projects, but I really think this is going to be good. It's going to be Mandalorian good, it's going to be something that we want, and it's going to be tied a lot to our feelings to the original trilogy, in my belief. So this has been thrown out as kind of a rumor, but also a confirmation at the same time, because EB Games is saying that they're getting a Black Series Imperial probe droid, which would be awesome. I think that the probe droid is one of the coolest things from the vintage line, one of the coolest things from the Power of the Force line, and would be one of the coolest things in the Black Series line, the 6-inch line, the bigger size. I would be excited about that. The only thing that probably would excite me more than this, oddly enough, even though original trilogy is my heart, is seeing a destroyer droid in this scale. Now, one of the most exciting things I saw this week is the Vintage Collection carded pictures of the Mandalorian figures, and I've got to say, these look great. And the Vintage Collection, I think, is the majority of the Vintage Collection. The appeal is the card back. The appeal is the vintage style card back. We're getting stuff that we didn't have back then. There's no way we could have had this in the 70s and 80s because the Mandalorian TV show didn't exist. Boba Fett didn't look exactly like this, and of course Jango Fett hadn't even been heard of back then. This is a beautiful card back. I love it. We get a Stormtrooper. He looks cool. I don't know. I'm not too excited about a 5th version of a Vintage Collection Stormtrooper on a card. But in the end, everybody wants Stormtroopers because they're troop builders and you can never seem to have enough. And Cara Dune is an awesome character, and the actress did a great job. The likeness nails her. It is a great figure, and I have to admit that the Black Series figure is so popular. It's just climbing in price on the secondary market. I never would have seen that coming, to tell you the truth. But hey, that's a shocker, and you know, all my friends that got her are happy they got her when they could. So yeah, needless to say, I'll probably pick this one up in the Vintage Collection because 3 3/4 inch is actually my favorite scale. So let me know what you think about this week's weekly news and review. I know things are going to be light this week, next week, maybe for 2 or 3 weeks, because of Chinese New Year and the Transformers front. And Star Wars is kind of that whole what's going to happen before Toy Fair. Let me know if there's anything else that's really awesome that happened out there that I didn't catch. Like, subscribe, and Tydarium Hanger out.